Hi. Welcome everybody to Knock Knock I with Dr. Glaucomflecken. It's a little pun. Yeah, you guys know I'm not a big pun guy. Knock Knock I is really the only pun you're gonna ever get from me on a consistent basis. This is just a little bonus, just a little extra thing that I because every now and then, as an ophthalmologist, I gotta talk about eyeballs for a bit. Usually it's surrounding some kind of pop culture news event, something that happened that I get tagged about on social media hundreds of times, and people want to hear my thoughts about whatever it is. And it's ultimately it's just an excuse for me to talk about eyeballs, which is a top five ball, I think, in the world. Right? I could probably make that list actually. So top five balls, eyeball in no particular order: football, basketball, beach ball. What other balls? I don't. It just in general, in all of history, there's been a lot of balls. I think eyeball's right up there near the top. In the human body, there's lots of balls too. There's testicles, uh, ovaries. You could the pituitary. It's kind of ball shaped in a way. There's a lot of gallstones, lots of types of stones. I don't know. But anyway, this is going to be a very eye centric episode here. And the reason that I'm really doing this is because last week there was a big news story about the Apple Vision Pro. This is the new Apple device. It looks like a VR headset. You put it, and this is just based on the commercial that was put on social media. So you put on this headset with a strap on it. You just go about your day wearing this thing on your face that's basically like your operating system. You can answer emails, you can text message, you can look up the weather, and it's not like a Oculus or something where you're like playing a game. You're just like doing your normal life, but you're doing it wearing this giant thing on your face that looks like it would give you horrible neck problems. I don't know how much it weighs. But this does seem like the natural progression of things, right? Everybody knows we're on our devices all the time. I myself included, we're on our phones. And eventually we were going to take the phone and just attach it to our face. That seems like what the Apple Vision Pro is trying to do at a price tag of $3,500. And so the question that was posed to me that I got tagged in a lot is like, what is this? Is this bad for your eyes? Like, what's it doing? And and first off, I'll just say, well, even if it is bad for your eyes, at $3,500, if you can afford the Apple Vision Pro, you can probably afford new eyes. I wouldn't worry about it too much. I'll just say that right off the bat. But the biggest concerns, I guess there are two big concerns. One is people are asking me about blue light. Now, I did this a similar bonus episode with the Mr. Beast cataract surgery stuff, and I talked a lot about blue light. And just to recap that, there's blue lights in everything. It's in the lights that are shining on me right now. It's in the sun. We're constantly bombarded with blue light. And so the only time blue light might mess up your life a little bit is at night when you're trying to go to sleep and you're looking at your phone that contains like all the world's history and information since the beginning of time. Yeah, if you have that right in your face when you're trying right before you try to go to sleep, it's probably going to mess with your circadian rhythm a little bit. There are studies that show that blue light can have that effect on your circadian rhythm, but it's not going to cause damage to your eyes. It doesn't really induce eye strain just having blue light. Otherwise, we'd all be like in constant eye strain at all times. So the blue light thing, yeah, if you're like, you got your Apple Vision Pro on your face all day, you give your family who's also wearing Apple Vision Pro headsets a nice hug and a kiss goodnight. You go and lay down, and you're on TikTok with your headset on in bed. and then you take it off and immediately try to fall asleep, you might have some problems. There's a lot of problems with that scenario, but that's probably not great for you. The other thing though is eye strain. I get a lot of questions about eye strain. So what eye strain is whenever you are trying to accommodate your eyes. So accommodation is basically just focusing your eyes. So you have little muscles in your eye. They're called the ciliary muscles that contract. You do have little muscles inside your eye. They contract and they change the shape of your lens, and that allows you to focus on things closer to you. Now, when we're in our teenage years, 20s, 30s, early 30s, and a little bit in late 30s too, we can do that pretty well. All right, we can focus all day. A 20-year-old can be staring at their phone 6 inches from their face for 10 hours, and they're probably going to be just fine. In your 40s, you start to lose it. It starts to go away a little bit. People start holding things a little bit further away from them. And the problem with all the screen time we have now, and I see a lot of this in the eye clinic, is people come in with a lot of times they're like in their 40s and they're like, oh, but just the strain, but things are getting blurry up close, or I'm having headache, a brow ache right here. Is because they're spending so much time right here, and they're not wearing reading glasses, not wearing any kind of glasses, and their eyes are aging. That A word that I'm not ever supposed to use as a doctor is what aging does is it the eyes when they age they lose the ability to accommodate, to focus up close. And so that is the real main concern really with any device, but certainly one that you're going to be strapping to your face and wearing all day, is that the things you're looking at, and there's some kind of, I'm not sure the technology they use, but they're making the image appear that it's further away, so that does kind of trick your brain and your eyes to probably not have to focus so close, because it's like you're looking at like a movie screen 10 feet away from you. That helps, but you're also going to be doing a lot of activity kind of close up as well. And so that's the biggest concern, is that like you have this thing on yourself like 8 hours, you're probably going to induce some eye strain. The other thing you can get is like dry eye too. Because when we're looking at screens all day, like all of a sudden you blink after a while, you realize you haven't blinked in a while and it feels like sandpaper. That's because your eyes are dry. Fairly common, happens all the time when we're looking at screens. And so that's kind of the effects that this type of device is going to have on your eyes. But remember, it's $3,500. You can afford new eyes. Probably, maybe not, this year or next year. It might take a few years for us to develop the technology to, transplant a 20-year-old's eyes. But when we do, I just know there's going to be a lot of people that do it. So those are my thoughts on the Apple Vision Pro. The biggest things, maybe some eye strain, maybe a little bit of dry eye, not a lot of like blue light. I'm not worried about that. We'll see where it goes. I don't know. I don't know what the next generation, where this is going to go from here, because again, that thing looks like it'd be uncomfortable wearing it for quite a while. All right, let's get to some questions now. So I like to answer some eyeball related questions. People always have questions about their eyeballs. And these are questions that I got from my wonderful patrons on Patreon. And so I'm going to go through some of these. All right, the first one is a great question, one that I don't get to talk about very often. And I apologize to, actually, I don't apologize. If you follow me, if you're still listening, it's because you kind of are interested in eyeballs too. And so, which is very exciting to me. Thank you, Glock for being here and listening to me talk about eyeballs. I don't get to do it very often. All right, so Alice Wondercheck says, how common is it to use Botox to help correct strabismus? So strabismus is when the eyes are misaligned in some way, up, down, left, right. And so this is something that we need to treat. There's lots of ways to treat it. Botox is one of them. So this is something that you can like a piece of trivia that you can use to entertain probably honestly nobody, but If you do end up in the company of dermatologists or ophthalmologists, they'll be impressed that you know this. And this is actually, I always like to stick it to dermatologists a little bit. Because there's this, unsung rivalry, I'd say, between dermatologists and ophthalmologists. It's a rivalry that no one else in the world cares about because it revolves around like who's got the best work life balance, which is a disgusting topic for everybody else. So I'm not going to go into details other than to say dermatology has had one over on us for quite a while. They have even fewer reasons to come into the hospital than we do as ophthalmologists. As few eye emergencies as there are out there, there are even fewer skin emergencies. That's my understanding of it. And it's one of those things where if you ever have a dermatologist and an ophthalmologist both in the hospital at the same time, buy yourself a lottery ticket. Anyway, the one thing I do like to point out about dermatologists is, we all know, dermatologists, they love Botox, right? They're doing a lot of Botox. They use Botox, the skin thing. But the first doctors to ever use Botox clinically were ophthalmologists. That's right. Botox was first used by an ophthalmologist to treat strabismus, the misalignment to the eyeballs. Just a little fun fact there. So it's only certain times of ocular misalignment, but the way it works is you take a little needle, and this is going to gross out a lot of people, but you put a needle into the muscle, into the physical muscle surrounding the eye, whichever muscle you want to weaken, and you inject it with a little Botox. And what it does is it does the neurotransmitter, all the things that Botox does. I'm not going to get into the details of the pathophysiology, but it weakens the muscle. It limits its ability to fire, to have action potentials, and it stops working. And it lasts, 2 to 3 months. So it's useful for certain types of strabismus, but not as many as you think. And it's hard for kids, obviously, because you'd have to like put them to sleep. Adults, you could do this under local anesthetic. You don't have to do general anesthesia. Sometimes it's easier for older kids or adults. So I'd say it's not used as frequently, probably as it once was. And I'm not a specialist in strabismus, so I don't know exactly what they're doing now, but I do know that it's not as common of a treatment. And the beautiful thing about it, though, is that it's something that you can try, see what kind of effect you get, and it's going to wear off, and then you're going to be back at square one for the most part. And so that's why, like, if you're doing Botox in the skin, it's like a great procedure to do because if you do like screw it up, and by screw it up, I mean like you put a little bit too much Botox, it causes like the brow to droop or you to look really strange. It wears off after a few months, so the patient will be fine. It's a great thing about Botox. It really is a fascinating treatment, and the history of Botox. Maybe we'll get into it. Never mind. No one's going to care about that. Anyway, that's Botox for strabismus. Thank you for that question, Alice. Next, let's go to a topic that I get asked a lot about. This is from Gracie Lou. Says, can you talk about LASIK? I'm trying to do some research to see if I'm a candidate, and it's nice to get some general information. So here is my quick rundown for LASIK. First of all, LASIK's a great procedure. We I think we take for granted how 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 amazing it is to take someone who's severely nearsighted, like -6 or higher, which is really close. That's like way up here. And all of a sudden we can reshape their cornea and then they see like 20/20 like perfect. It's unbelievable. I mean, these are people, that have such a strong prescription that, you know, 100 years ago, they would not have survived. They would have been probably eaten by a bear at a very early age. That's just how it goes. And so, but we have, basically myopia is a disability, and we have disability accommodations now with glasses, contacts, and LASIK. And so, it's a great procedure. And there are risks to any procedure, though, right? So I'm going to preface LASIK and whether or not you should get LASIK and all the things that go into it by saying there are risks to any surgical procedure. You're making an incision, you're cutting the cornea, you're cutting nerves that can lead to dry eye. And very rarely, you can get very severe dry eye that really impacts quality of life. There's lots of news stories out there about that. Obviously, like the really bad cases, they do get a lot of attention. But for the most part, it is extremely safe, and we are very good at it at this point. And so, and so the other thing I want to talk about with LASIK is who should get it. Who should get it? Now, part of this is like your medical evaluation. You have to have eyes that are healthy enough for LASIK, and so that can only be answered by actually going to the eye surgeon and getting the evaluation, have them look at you. There's lots of things with your eyes that could disqualify you from having a refractive surgery. But I think one thing I can answer for you is about age. And so there are diminishing returns with LASIK as you get older. And what I mean by that, and this goes back to that ability to focus. When you're in your 20s and your 30s and your mainly the early 30s, and you can focus all day, get LASIK. It's great because you can get 20/20 perfect vision and you can still focus up close. And so you can get completely out of glasses. When you get into your late 30s and then definitely into your 40s, that focusing up close, oh, that starts to go away. That starts to leave you. And it's really frustrating for everyone, but it's as certain as death. You will lose that ability to focus your eyes. And so I've seen it before where people get LASIK when they're like 37, 38. 3 years later, they still got great distance vision, but all of a sudden, they're wearing reading glasses. So you got to be aware of that. That's why I say diminishing returns over time. Because if your goal is to get out of glasses completely, if you get LASIK when you're 23, 24, 25, you'll have probably 10, 15, maybe even 20 years where you won't need glasses. But if you get LASIK when you're 38, you may only have like 3 or 4 years. And that's a shame because like LASIK's expensive and nobody has money for LASIK when they're like 22, 23. So it would actually be a fantastic gift to give somebody is LASIK, a very generous gift. So people don't have the money to spend on refractive surgery until it's too late, which is a lot of times that's what happens. Whenever you're over the age of 40, really the only benefit to getting LASIK is if you do what's called monovision, where you have one eye that sees far away, one eye that sees up close. People do this with contacts, and it takes away your depth perception. But some people tolerate it really well. Some people absolutely hate it, and it's personality dependent. You know, does your brain? Do you have a plasticity to your brain? Can you neuro adapt? And I'm throwing out all these words as if I really know what they mean, but it sounds good. It sounds right. I don't know. Bottom line is some people can do it, some people can't. So monovision is the only way that you could consider it uh, really over the age of 40. And then once you're 60, like don't get LASIK because you have cataracts by the age of 60. And we can do more with cataract surgery than we can with LASIK. All right. So I would just not do it by that age. Um, so that's my breakdown of LASIK. Okay. Diminishing returns with time. But it is a great procedure and it's sister procedure, PRK, photorefractive keratectomy, where you basically it's just a different way of resurfacing the eye, or not resurfacing, a different way of reshaping the cornea. All right. And this is like refractive day. I'm going to get the refractive stuff out of the way here. So I had another question from Martha Simmons. Martha says, can you discuss RLE, refractive lens exchange? I've been wearing hard gas permeable lenses for 45 years and honestly have had very little trouble, but maybe it's time to consider RLE because I'm minus 12. Minus 12. I'm sure a lot of you have probably heard radio ads or maybe even TV ads for RLE. There's a few big chain, like it's weird to say like refractive surgery chains, but that's kind of what they are. All they do is refractive surgery, that are advertising this. What refractive lens exchange is, it's cataract surgery without the cataract. So with cataract surgery, we talked about this on the Mr. Beast episode a month or so back. Cataract surgery, you're removing the native lens inside the eye that gets yellow and darker over time as you get older. And see, that's how you gotta say, as you get older, as we all get older, as we get older, there's ways you talk about aging as a physician, to make people like not feel bad that they're aging. I don't know. It's just like something that kind of comes naturally with time. But like, I can't ever say you're old, even though like 99% of what I diagnose on a daily basis is aging. Like that's the reason it's happening. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. What was I talking about? RLE. So yeah, it's basically cataract surgery without the cataract. So for someone who is 25 or 30 or even 40, and they don't have a cataract at that age, but say they have a really high prescription, they're like a -12. That is extreme myopia. Um, they are probably not going to be a candidate for LASIK because with LASIK, again, it reshapes your cornea, but you can only reshape it so much. So if you have a really, really high prescription, you're less likely to qualify for LASIK. So refractive lens exchange, instead of fixing the vision on the cornea, you're going inside the eye, you're removing the lens, and you're replacing it with an artificial lens. That artificial lens is going inside your eye, staying there the rest of your life, and it's going to help you see well for distance. And the downside, well, depending on the type of lens you use, we have like lots of lens technology that goes inside the eye. Some lenses only get you seeing at one distance, either distance or near. Some lenses give you what's called multifocality, where you see distance and near. Lots of different options. Most of the time, people who are getting RLE are getting those multifocal lenses because they want to be able to see everything out of. And so it's the biggest downside to RLE, number 1 is the cost. It's gonna be the most expensive because it's all out of pocket. Insurance will not cover RLE because it's a refractive procedure, not something you have to do, but it can significantly improve your quality of life. So I don't know what it's I don't even do RLE. I don't wanna do it. But it's probably, I would guess, 5 to 10,000 per eye, something like that. And so, um, and the other big downside is the risk to it. Now, LASIK has risk, but not as much risk as something like RLE, because with RLE, you're actually going inside the eye. With LASIK, you're not going inside the eye, right? You're just going on the surface of the eye. With RLE, you're actually making an incision. You're using instruments. You're going inside the eye, mucking around in there, removing the lens, and then you're putting that artificial lens in there. That artificial lens, by the way, made of plastic, folds up, and it just goes right into a little 2 millimeter incision. And it can be life changing for people who are like a minus, like Martha here, who's -12, because that's the only option. And so the people that I have, I refer to other people who do refractive lens exchange occasionally. I probably wouldn't do it in like a 20 or 30-year-old, um, just because, again, that risk. And I'm not real convinced that the lens technology will make a 20-year-old happy with their vision. But for someone who's probably over the age of 40, probably in your 40s, I would say that's even maybe even in your 30s. It's probably someone you could talk to about. You could consider doing RLE. I'm just not super high on the procedure just because of a little bit of higher risk involved. and where our lens technology is right now. Those are my thoughts about RLE. Not a bad procedure, but you got to be pretty selective with who you do it with. So that's two of the big refractive technologies there. Hopefully that was helpful, and those of you who have questions about that. And I got to do. Maybe I'll talk another time. Yeah, it's so great talking about eyeballs. Even though I'm just looking into a camera, I'm basically looking at myself, talking to myself about eyeballs. It really is a lot of fun. This is a good reminder, actually. Send me questions that you guys have about eyeballs, like whatever you want to talk about, whatever eye conditions. You want to talk about pink eye, you want to talk about styes, you want to talk about the gonococcal conjunctivitis if you want. It's not my favorite topic. I'm happy to talk about anything. I am a board certified ophthalmologist. I know you can't tell because I dress up as I have portraits of myself behind me. I dress up as so many different specialties in medicine, and it's hard to know exactly what kind of doctor I am. Some people are actually very surprised to find out that I am indeed an ophthalmologist, one that passed a bunch of tests and did a lot of training to get to where I am. And so I do relish the opportunity to educate at times about ophthalmology, among other things. And everything else, I gotta, like, do a lot of research. Like, I don't know anything about cardiology, but sometimes I, like, play a cardiologist, and so I gotta look like I know what I'm talking about. But I actually do know a lot about eyeballs. So send me your eyeball ophthalmology-related questions. I'm happy to answer anything that's on you guys' minds. Lastly, one thing I was gonna say, so on the topic of these artificial lenses, they're super cool. They're pliable, they're bendable. You fold them up into a little tiny taco, basically. You put a taco inside the eye, essentially. But the way that we know that plastic lenses were able to go inside the eye is, I think it was during World War II. They had a pilot, and the details in this for me are a little hazy, but the gist of it is, um, there was a pilot, maybe a British pilot, that had like shrapnel and busted up the windshield of the plane. Did you call it a windshield? I don't know, probably. And some of the glass, which was, it wasn't true glass, it was PMMA. It was like a type of plastic. Some of that actually was embedded in the pilot's eye, and the eye did fine. Like, the patient recovered, vision was okay. That glass, it was inert. That plastic, it just sat in the eye, didn't cause infection or inflammation or anything. And that was the first time we thought, hey, we can actually put a plastic lens inside somebody's eye to help them see better. And that was kind of the first kind of eureka moment, like, oh, maybe, cataract surgery down the road. Eventually, we started just mass producing these plastic lenses, and now cataract surgery is the most commonly performed, the most one of the most successful surgeries performed today, that changes people's lives. That's why I like to do it so much, and that's why, even though I do all this social media stuff, like, I don't want to give up ophthalmology because I love doing cataract surgery. I love helping people see. It still brings joy to my life, as does dressing up as a scribe and nodding to all of you. I love doing that too. But I'm not ready to give up my day job just yet. It's too much fun. So that's a lot about lenses and LASIK and refractive lens exchange and Botox. Yeah, so I guess that's it for this edition of Knock Knock Eye. And thank you for being here and listening all the way through a whole thing about eyeballs. It's not the sexiest topic, but it is to me, and that's weird. Anyway, I hope you have thank you for being here. Thank you for listening. I'm gonna just normally I like have a like an outro thing. I'll just say thank you for our producers, and to Human Content. Check us out. I get a lot of the questions I like to answer off of Patreon, so you can check out our Patreon. Lots of cool perks there. And yeah, we'll see you next time. Take care, everyone. Thanks for watching the episode. You can find more on that playlist over there. If you prefer to listen, or you just had your eyes dilated, you can binge full episodes wherever you get your podcasts. Or join the party over on Patreon, where you get early access episodes, hang out with us, get lots of exclusive bonus content. Hope you subscribe, leave a comment below. Let us know what you think.